Hi and welcome back to Buffy Stitching Society. Sorry there has been such a massive break. I have been really busy. So what I thought I'd do today, instead of waiting to upload a finished project, I'd show you all the stuff I've got in progress, so that you know that I am still busy stitching and knitting and doing all the things I enjoy. But it's just been a really hectic couple of months. Work has been mental. My son turned 18. I am now the parent of 2 adult children, which I still can't fully believe. I still don't feel that I'm old enough to have two adult children, but I do, and it's brilliant. But yeah, there's been a lot going on, so I haven't been able to get as much done as I'd like. So I thought I'd show you what I've been working on, so you can see what I'm doing, and you can also give me some feedback on which of the future projects you think I should move on to after I've finished the current ones. And I'm also going to tell you about a challenge I've set myself, which I have to meet because I need it for something. But we'll start off with the knitting projects first. So I have been working on this. It's very battered because I carry it around everywhere. I'll put a link to the eBay shop where I bought this one. But it's basically a print of a vintage one. So it's called just the Fair Isle Jumper. So it's very 1940s. Now in the pattern, it calls for blues and browns and pale blues and fawns. Well, I wanted to use up some of the yarn that I have, because I've got some vintage yarn that I got from my grandmother, and I've got other bits that I've inherited and gathered over the years. And I thought, well, instead of buying yarn for a project, I'll try and use up what I've got. So I thought, brilliant. So I had, if I've got any more, I do somewhere. I've got this navy blue, I had a pale blue, and I had the royal blue. So I had the 3 blues. What I didn't have was the browns. So instead of browns, I opted for cream, which we'll come on to in a minute. Cream, dark green, nice dark green, and a paler green. So I've got my 6 colours all here, and just to show you what it looks like, and I am so pleased with this. Every time someone comes around to see me or I'm talking about something, I'm like, oh, let me show you my knitting. It is a little bit obsessive, but I am like, let me show you my knitting because it's beautiful. I mean, look at it. It is beautiful, isn't it? I mean, that is stunning. I know I'm saying that myself, and I've made it, but I mean, I'm just gonna, you can see all the details. So where it was dark green, the pattern called for dark brown, and the paler green was meant to be the fawn colour. But I'm actually really pleased with how that's coming out. So I've done the back and the front. I've got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of ends to weave in, and I've just started on the first sleeve. The pattern does everything by weight, so it says you need 3 ounces of the light blue, 2 ounces each of the natural brown and dark blue, and 1 ounce each of mid blue and fawn. So I weighed mine and made sure I had more than the ounce necessary, so more than the 28 grams that I would need. And yet the cream, which is not this cream, it was one that I had plenty of, or thought I had plenty of, I ran out of. But what I cleverly did, yes, blowing my own trumpet, was I did the rib on the front and the back first to make sure I had enough to do that. And then the cream in it is the new cream. And I did colour match it. I bought this in a lovely shop in Clevedon, which isn't too far away from me. It's called The Spinning Wheel. And I was able to match, so the thickness and the type is really, really good. Colours, it's so close you wouldn't know, so it's going to work fine. So that's where we are with that one. So I'm hoping to get this one finished. I'd like to do it before I go away on holiday in July, but I also realise that it's quite a complex pattern and it's taking me quite a long time to do a row, because there's a lot of thinking. So I love doing it. I'm going to put that down. But it's one that I have to think about, so I can't just sit and do it as easily as I can with other things. so that's number one project. Number two project is a pattern that, oh no, again I photocopied it so that I don't wreck the original, which I think I do have in here. Now this was one, there it is, this was one that came from my grandmother's house when we were sorting it out, and I love this one because it's a wartime publication. I know it's a wartime because it's when they started making them smaller so that they use less paper and ink. So it was bought in my hometown, and it's a Pattons and Baldwin one, and it cost 3p, and it's a twin set. So it's actually, you can't really see it, but it's sort of a bit like basket work pattern. So it is patterned, but it's all in one colour. So I did a tension gauge because I bought some yarn online. I mean, we're going right back to January now. This is how long ago I kind of bought and started this. So I got some extra fine merino wool from Hobby. I do like Hobby's wool. It's a Swedish, Scandinavian company. I'm not sure. I'll put a link to their website below. And I bought loads of this, and I did a tension swatch, and it worked out spot on. I was so pleased. So far, haven't got massively far, but I have done my right front. Sorry, I had to work that out there. I mean, the camera's not fully showing the beautiful colour. It's sort of a deep purpley one. It's looking a bit reddy, but you can see the pattern coming out there. And I mean, this yarn's beautiful. It's so soft, and it's going to be so lovely and warm. And I've done, you know, I think it's got 10 buttons though. So I've done the first side, I've done the rib on the second side, and that's as far as I've got. I haven't got any further with that because I have been concentrating on the other one. What's quite nice about this one is that it doesn't take as much brain power. So on the days when I'm more tired and it's been a rougher time and mentally I'm just exhausted, this one I can still pick up and do without thinking too much. If I make a mistake, you kind of fudge it as well. Not that I have, but if I made a mistake, you can fudge it. Whereas with the Fair Isle one, yeah, you can't fudge that. And there were times when I was too tired doing it, and I had to unpick it, go back 2 or 3 rows, and it's like, oh my goodness, this is just a nightmare. But as you can tell, I'm absolutely in love with that pattern. But I have 3 future projects for knitting that I'm planning on doing. Yes, 3, because, you know, why just have one when you could have 2 or 3? I mean, that's not just the only 3, but these are the 3 I have got bagged ready, because I like to bag things up ready. So, it also doesn't make me feel like there's so much behind me. That's just future. I am trying to be good. I am trying to limit what I buy now. I'm trying to buy 4 things rather than just because it's pretty. I know we all do that. We buy things because it's pretty. We want to buy things because it's pretty. But there is a limit to how much yarn one person needs. So from Hobby, again, they do free knitting patterns as well. And I fell in love with this one. It's called Arctic Holly. I mean, it's beautiful, isn't it? And I downloaded the pattern. And I downloaded the pattern, looked at it, oh, maybe I could do that from my yarn stash. Turned out I couldn't. So we know what that meant. Yeah, we do. So unfortunately, they have discontinued the main body colour of the jumper. So I was like, okay. So instead, I've gone for something similar. I can't remember what this colour is called. It's colour 04. I don't think it's got a name. So it's a kind of a beigey colour. And then I've got the 2 contrasts ready to go. And this is the Friends wool from Hobby. It is 100% wool. It's really nice. It's really nice and soft. And I'll put, like I said, I'll put the link to Hobby in the description below. So that's definitely a winter jumper. It's a lot chunkier. But I mean, I think it's going to be beautiful when I've finished. And I don't think it's going to be as complex as other ones I've done, so I'm hoping that, you know, it won't take us too long. And I'd like to have that done for the winter, but we are only just into June, so I'm pretty sure I've got time to do this. But I recently made a friend of mine a pair of socks, because I was knitting a pair of socks, and my family went, I was like, anybody want this pair of socks? I'm knitting them because I need something that I don't need to think about. I just want to sit and do something. And they went, oh no, I don't want a pair of socks. I've got some, blah, blah, blah. So I made my friend this pair of socks, and she likes them. She said she likes them. I really hope you did like them. You know, you wouldn't just say that. No, I think she liked them. And then my daughter goes, why didn't you make me a pair of socks? And I went, well, you didn't want me to make you a pair of socks. She went, yeah, but I didn't want a pair of socks that you were making in that colour. I wanted them in something different. You know, you take a breath, you count to 10. But I had bought online, again, buying it because it's pretty, some sock wool in a kind of multitude of different colours. So there. And I bought 4 balls of this because it was 2 for so much. So my daughter went, oh yeah, I love that one. So I then, well, okay, we can make you socks in that. So I went through my books, because I do have just a few books, which I'm adding to. I actually have 4 new books downstairs. Not knitting, they are sewing this time. And the socks I'm planning on making were, was it those ones? I think it might have been those. I think, right, okay. It was either these socks, these ones here, because it was a multicoloured yarn with the pattern, and these are petal socks, or it was the garden socks. Now they're both by the same designer. And again, I can't remember which one it was, but it's one of those. And this is from a book called Knitting Wizardry, which I have made stuff from in the past because I really do quite like this stuff. So those are going to be socks for my daughter. Sorry, let me just put it away a minute. If we don't put it away, it gets messy, and I'm not the tidiest person in the world anyway, so therefore I kind of need to think, tidy up as I go. And then, last but not least, of the knitting, future knitting projects, we'll come on to sewing in a minute, future knitting projects was something that I saw on Engineering Knits. When Engineering Knits travelled across the country last year or 18 months ago, she decided that while she was travelling, because she had hours and hours and hours, because when you're travelling from one side of the United States to the other, it's much bigger than travelling from one side of the UK to the other, that she was going to knit herself 2 lighter weight sweaters, or jumpers as we call them in the UK. And I absolutely I love both of the designs. But this one, which I then went and found from her link, and I'll put a link to that video so you can see it in the description below as well, because I hope she doesn't mind, but it was the inspiration for this. It's this beautiful top with, it's like a vest top, but then you actually do knit the lacy sleeves as well. And it's called the pinny jumper, but it's just so beautiful and elegant. And when she made it, I thought, oh my gosh, I love that so much. So I got a wool voucher for my birthday. So I went and got myself, yes, you know what's coming, some Yorkshire spinners, and this is in the colour Juniper. So I've got that for the bodice, and I already had some, funnily enough, some white 4-ply to do the sleeves. So that is another project for the future, and it's all bagged up because then I know exactly where it is. So those are the knitting ones. So let me know in the comments below, if you want to, which of the 3 you think I should do once I've finished one of my other ones that I'm working on at the moment of the knitting projects. We've got the socks for my daughter, the winter jumper, or the summer pinny jumper. So I would be interested to know what people would like to see. So that's my knitting projects, but I haven't been idle on the sewing front. Now, as I've said before, I don't find sewing as easy I'm much newer to it. I've been able to hand sew for years, but actually making my own garments is something I've come to really since COVID. During COVID, I made a dress that was based on a Regency dress, but knee length. Unfortunately, it doesn't fit me now because my body size has changed. So it's hanging in a wardrobe downstairs because I refuse to get rid of it because I love it. And I hand sewed that entire dress, but I had the help of my mum saying, right, you need to do this bit now and this bit now. I'm getting to the point now where I don't need to ask for as much help, but I'm still not a confident seamstress. I take a lot longer to do things. But I love the vintage styles. I think the 40s especially, and like the early 50s, they're just so elegant and so, what's the word? They're just beautiful. And, you know, I know not everybody has the hourglass figures. I do not have an hourglass figure. I wish I did, but I don't. But, you know, even when you're wearing the jumpers and the skirts and the things like that, you just feel so much better. So I have made some bits and pieces for myself, but with lots of help. But we found a pattern in my grandmother's house when we've been tidying up, and you'll see that's a common feature moving forward. Oh, I found this in my grandmother's house, of this pattern that I wanted to give a try. But this is actually a pattern from the 50s, and their instructions are much different to the instructions you get with a modern day pattern. A modern day pattern does it step by step. The 50s one kind of says, sew this up like you would. Like I would how. I mean, the best bit with the dress that I'm getting to the end of, which I'll go and grab in a minute, was it didn't tell you how to put in the zip. It just went put in the slide fastening as per the instructions on the packet. Well, I don't know about you, but zips don't actually come with instructions on how to put them in. They just come as a zip. And I didn't know what a slide fastener was for a while. I had to work that out. But it's almost done. I am just now working on the hem. So I've just pinned on the bias binding to then turn up a hem. So I'm going to stitch that on when I'm done with this. So wait one moment and I will grab it. And here it is. So it's not the best because you're seeing it from there. It's got a beautiful button. It's got pockets, ladies. It's got pockets. We love pockets. And you can see I'm working on the hem. Now I also did put in a lining on the skirt because this fabric is actually, sorry, you can't see me, you can only see my mouth. This fabric is actually, it was an old bed sheet because this was a trial thing. I wanted to see if it was going to work. So this dress won't be for posh events or anything like that. I probably will wear it to work because of the pockets. The pockets are so useful. But it's not for like going out anywhere nice. It's for doing errands and things like that. It does have a matching belt, which I've got to finish as well. The belt buckle did actually elude my brain for quite a while, and my mother had to go, you know, you've sewn it on wrong. And I went, no, I haven't sewn. And she went, yes, you have. And I went, yes, I have. So hopefully I'm going to finish this soon. And there will be a video showing my progression through this, but that is where we are with that one. Bear with me. I just threw a whole load of fabric on top of the cat. She wasn't very happy. Not very happy at all. I have cut out another project. I'm making my beautiful Farewell jumper in the greens and the blues, and I went, well, gotta have a matching skirt. And we found this pattern. Now I don't know how old this pattern is. It cost 40p, so we're definitely after 1971 because we are into decimalisation. But we can't be that far after it because I'm reckoning late 70s, early 80s if you look at the picture. I'm not an expert on this. If you think I'm wrong, please tell me, but the hair sort of says. So I am making this one here, but I found that I had, I'll show you some dark green fabric, which just happens to match my dark green wool quite nicely. So that's a really nice, simple, she says, simple project that I'm going to make so that I have a matching jumper and skirt. Now, here's the challenge that I have set myself. No one has set me this. I have set my own challenge. And part of me is going, why have you set yourself this challenge? But we like a challenge. In 19 days, I will be attending a ball that the school I work at holds every year for their Year 13 leavers. I love this event. It's a really nice event. You get to see all the kids that you've, in some cases, seen grow up through the school for 7 years, have a final celebration, and before they move off into the next stage of life, whether it's uni, work, apprenticeship. It's a really, really nice evening, and everyone dresses up. The kids dress up, the staff dress up. It's just a really nice posh evening. And I've rotated dresses for the past few times that I've attended, and this year I was like, oh, really, I ought to, get something new. No, no, we're going to make something new. What is wrong with me? What is wrong with me? 19 days. I'm not a confident sewist, and I've given myself 19 days to attempt to do this. Anyway, I have bought myself some plain navy blue cotton fabric. I prefer more natural fibres over less ones if I can. I've gone for navy blue because I've got some white shoes with navy blue markings on them, and I've got pearls. And I've gone for a 1950s pattern. Now I've gone for this pattern that's it's a Butterick pattern that is a retro. Oh my goodness, what's wrong with my words? A retro revised pattern. So it's this one from Butterick. So it's Butterick B6018, and I am going for the B version. Now I've already made the A version. I made that, oh goodness gracious, 3 or 4 years ago. I made that again out of an old bedsheet, and it's beautiful. I love it. I do love it. I wear it to work a lot. It's really comfortable. But I thought, well, this one, you can see it's got a different neckline up here. I thought that would be a bit more, it's a familiar pattern, but this is a bit different, a bit more elegant. But I'm learning. I'm learning not just from the fact that I make mistakes, but I'm learning from the fact that I watch other YouTubers now. So a huge thanks to Retro Claude and Engineering Knits, who've both shown me that you should always do a mock-up, or a toile, I think it's called. We're going to go with mock-up because I'm from the West Country and that's what we say. So I have cut out in readiness on, I have lots of sheets, on a blue sheet, just, because I like blue, the bodice, to make sure it's going to fit me properly and to give me some practice. So that is my plan. I am going to make the mock bodice this week, so that next weekend, when I say this week, I mean in the evenings after work, so that next weekend I can cut it out and start properly, and then I've got the following weekend to finish it off, ready for the Friday. 19 days. 19 days. Can I do it? Well, I have to, because I don't have another dress to wear if I don't. So I have to. It's focus. So you have to wish me luck on that. And also, if you think of any other sewing projects that you think I might be interested in or could give a go, let me know in the comments. It's I'm up for a challenge. It takes me a long time to do things because I do work full-time long hours, and I have family commitments and things, and when I'm at home sometimes all I want to do is just sit. I don't actually want to do anything constructive. So this project in itself is going to be quite good for me because it means I can't just come home and collapse in a heap. I've got to focus and do half an hour a day on it. That's my plan. I do have a backup. It's called my mum, who when she probably watches this will go, oh, I didn't know it was your backup, but yeah, mum, you're my backup. Who I know will help me out with things like advice and pointing me in the right direction. So I'm not, I'm not on my own. But yeah, I've decided to do this to myself. Anyway, I'm hoping that this hasn't been too long-winded or boring, and I haven't bored you, and that you've enjoyed seeing what I'm doing, what I've got planned. And if you like this style of update video, let me know. But there will be other ones coming out. There'll be one about the Fair Isle jumper and how I've got on with that. There'll be one about the green dress and the ups and downs of that and the things I went through. And there'll be, there will be other ones as well. But just let me know. I've enjoyed just chatting with you and updating you, and it will be good to hear from you. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like button. It does mean a lot to me. And comment or share and subscribe. Please join my small band of dedicated followers. I love you all. And I'll see you next time.